You loved fantasy football, right?
It was one of the, I woke up every morning and thought about trying to make people happy on fantasy football. I loved it. It was amazing.
How much would you always hear about that?
I still hear about it.
Do you really?
Yeah. In your green room, I heard about it.
Come on now. TJ, did you go that way with him, our social media coordinator? You did? You still get thanked for winning.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't give me another percentage, but like,
thank you as well.
Sure. But you didn't, and all deep down, why did you dislike fantasy football?
As a young player, I hated it. But as a little older player and as a grown man out of the game now, I understand its value. But before, all I saw was the dehumanization of players. Like, that's all I saw was like, if you got injured, you ruined my fantasy, bum, yeah, you know. And it was like that kind of stuff rather than like, imagine going to work and you have 2 ambulances on either side of your office and like they're there because somebody's probably going to get hurt, and then you get chastised for being hurt. It's the craziest idea to me, but it's something that you had to deal with. But like, I understood its value later on in my career and afterwards, and then you just take it real lighthearted.
Why did you tweet out your MRI? Because was there something going on with you and the team where you thought that they were not as hurt as you thought? Or?
No, I wasn't. It was a hamstring pull, but right. I think it was. I didn't think it would be as big a deal as it was. Like, we had a team meeting about it. It was.
What do you mean you had a team meeting about it?
We had a team meeting about it. Like, coach pulled a team together. You can't be doing this kind of stuff. Yada yada yada.
Is it Romeo? Was that?
No. It was Kubiak.
Okay, Kubiak.
Yeah, that's my guy though. You know, preface it with that. That's my guy.
Okay.
But yeah, it was a huge deal. It was like all over every talk show, and I was like, I had no idea I was gonna get this. Like, it was just a random like funny thing I did on social media. It wasn't like I don't know.
So you just decided I'm gonna tweet out my own personal information.
I mean, it's a picture of an X-ray of a hamstring, so it's not like it wasn't. I mean, what do people think hamstrings look like?
Okay.
That's what it is.
Is McNair your guy? Bob McNair your guy?
No, that's not my guy. But I mean, I don't have any problems with him.
Well, what'd you think about this whole kerfuffle of him saying the inmates running the asylum?
That's a great word.
You like kerfuffle?
That's a good word.
That should be the name of your next album.
I don't think so.
Okay.
But no, I mean, obviously, there are 2 sides of the coin here. There's one that says it's an idiom. It's just a phrasing of words that doesn't have any real substance behind it. And
inmates running the asylum.
Yeah, and then there's people that say there's some context behind that you should be more responsible with what you're saying. I tend to lean more towards that side, but I'm open to hearing the other side. And I think, in general, how I view ownership in the NFL and the way they view their players, it makes sense. I think it aligns with their ideals. But I don't think there's an owner that will sit down and have a dialogue with a player to sort out those issues.
You don't think there's any owners that would do that?
I don't think so.
Well, some owners did sit down with some of the players in New York.
I'm talking about like in a public forum. Because I think that's what's important as well as those private conversations, but I'm sitting down like in a public forum and having that discourse, because the issue with it in today's society is you have a politically infused society, and social media is fueling that fire. And so that kind of discourse can help people in their day-to-day lives have those conversations with their bosses, with whoever they have, because this is the society we live in. You have to have these conversations. We just live in that world now.
Would you have taken a knee if you were playing last year?
I did take a knee.
You did?
Yeah, when I was in Miami, I did take a knee.
So that was in your last season?
Yeah.
Did Stephen Ross say anything to you?
Yeah, he came up to me the day before, and he said, "I appreciate what you're doing," which is weird because I think I'm unsure, but didn't he kind of backtrack and he said?
Well, he was saying what I think some owners are saying, and I don't have it off the top of my head, so I'm.
Yeah,
that at this point in time, the issues have now been conflated to the point where why keep doing it?
Right. Yeah.
Is what I think is what he was saying.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't get it, but I understand what he's saying. I think, like I said, he came up to me and said, "I appreciate what you're doing." He was big in social activism. I think to the point now, it's you keep doing it because that's what the freedom of that's what you have in this country, is the freedom to do so. You protest at your will, and any disdain for that, I think, is ignorant of what the gesture is in the first place. I don't think it's a form of disrespect. I've talked to military that think it is. I've talked to military that think it isn't. Round and round we go. That's what America is, this melting pot of ideas. But I think if you continue the narrative, you should be able to do and feel as you please as long as you're not harming anybody.
So then I have about a minute left, and I know that this is a bigger subject than that.
No, for sure.
If the league takes the stance that every team can have their own rule on it, whether you stand or sit, how do you think that would sit with players?
I don't think it'll sit well. I think that if you're forcing patriotism on the league in the first place by an annual budget that the government has to fly planes over, to do the national anthem, to do flags, then you're forcing a political statement in itself. So if that's a political statement and you're trying to stay out of politics, then take that out as well. And if not, then you can't be opposed to players taking political stances on things that they believe in.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.